Live look right now at the U.S. federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. as we continue our coverage of Trump's indictment. He's scheduled to appear there at the courthouse at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Here's a timeline of key court dates, by the way, for Trump over the coming year. So a civil trial in the E. Jean Carroll case and trial is the same day as the Iowa caucuses, as you see there. A Manhattan criminal trial relating to the alleged hush money payments to Stormy Daniels is set for March 25th. And then in May, the trial for the classified documents case is scheduled to begin. And this will be, by the way, in the middle of the primary races.
Let's welcome in now former United States Attorney for Washington, D.C., Judge diGenova. He's also Chief Counsel on the Senate Rules Committee, and alongside him, former Chief Counsel on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Victoria Toensing. She's also a senior Justice Department official. Welcome. Always great to have you both in with us.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Good to be with you.
All right, so obviously the indictment dropped yesterday. Everyone's been looking through it, and tomorrow Trump again will face a judge in all of this. Just your top line thoughts here as we look ahead to what will play out tomorrow. And, you know, the case that Jack Smith is bringing here, nothing to do with inciting violence, all to do with obstruction. And some say that is a huge issue here and something that is a constitutional issue, really, Vicki and Joe.
Let me just point out something, because you played Jack Smith's unethical statement yesterday, as Doug Burns pointed out. He said it was an unprecedented assault on American democracy fueled by lies. And I have another one that was a precedent, and that was also fueled by lies and tried to nullify an election. It was called Russia, Russia, Russia. And it didn't last just a few hours. It lasted for 2 years. And people who had never done anything wrong had to go find lawyers and pay lawyers, and they were perplexed what was happening to them. So don't give me that this is an unprecedented attack on an election.
Joe, the judge in the case, Tanya Chutkan, is obviously getting attention. The Associated Press has reported, and everything that we're hearing and that we know about the judge is that she's been very tough on January 6th defendants. To provide some context, in fact, she was appointed by President Obama and served as a D.C. public defender. And then in regards to January 6th defendants, she gave tougher sentences than the DOJ was even asking for. At one point, she said, quote, there has to be consequences for participating in an attempted violent overthrow of the government beyond sitting at home. So, Joe, does this case even get to the point where Donald Trump faces sentencing or stands before Judge Chutkan, or obviously will they be requesting another judge to oversee this case?
Well, I think the first thing they're going to do is request another venue. They have to get a change of venue out of Washington, D.C., because it really doesn't matter which judge it's going to be inside the D.C. courthouse. As you recall, I was the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. That's my old courthouse. I know that town very well. There's no way that Donald Trump is going to get a fair trial, given the jury pool, which is 95% Democrat, just basically Trump-hating people to the core. The case has to be moved out of the District of Columbia. If it is, or somebody else, I think she should disqualify herself, no question.
Yeah, I mean, the optics of all of it, too. I mean, before she was a federal judge, and that when she became one in 2014, she's connected to, you know, she worked for this firm where, you know, it's led by a Biden mega donor. And we know Jack Smith's wife was, working on a Michelle Obama documentary. The optics of this in general, from the get-go, Victoria, have been awful. And I think that's where Americans are saying no more. And if we can't investigate the investigators, then we have to push Congress then to start an impeachment inquiry then into President Biden here, because there is no equal justice here.
Well, conservatives are so reluctant. You know, there was as much incriminating evidence in Durham's report as anything that Jack Smith put in this indictment. But conservatives are just hesitant. They don't want to investigate political activity. That's why Bill Barr never went after Hillary Clinton. But it's really interesting, because I read what she submitted to the Senate when she was undergoing confirmation hearings, and she was bragging about getting drug dealers off. And people who committed arson. She was really happy and proud of her experience as a public defender.
Hey, Joe, real quick, just a procedural question regarding tomorrow. Does Trump have to appear? Will he actually physically be at this hearing, or can he do it virtually?
he should be able to do it virtually, and the court should allow that. Now, the court can say, no, I want you here personally, but there should be an accommodation. Sir, this is nothing more than an arraignment, and there's no reason to put the court through the incredible security measures that have to be taken when the former president of the United States shows up for a proceeding. It'll be a sign of whether or not she is trying to be reasonable if she allows that. Assuming she's the one that's going to do the arraignment, it could be a magistrate for all we know.
It is, yeah, it's a magistrate tomorrow.
I believe it is, yeah.
But still, as you
well,
mentioned,
then
the
all the more-
expense, the security, all the hoopla.
Yeah. All the more reason it should be done virtually.
Yeah. Well, if it's anything like what we saw in Miami and then in Manhattan, it's going to be a circus once again, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Joe, Victoria, thank you so much. A pleasure to have you both. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you both.